Well, we welcome you to Blues Game Day Live alongside Joe Vitale, Darren Pang. Good to see you back, big fella.
Darren, it's good to be back. I missed you.
Yeah, you as well. We get set for Game 6, and these moments of an elimination game, certainly for the San Jose Sharks, their backs are against the wall. We know all the cliches, but for the St. Louis Blues, they have an opportunity to move forward. But how tough is it to stay in the present and stay in the now? And how impressed have you been with the Blues and how they've been able to handle that throughout the playoffs?
I think it could be tough for a lot of teams, a lot of players, but I don't think it's tough for this team at all. I look at the adversity they face all playoffs long. I go back to the hand pass in Game 2, and then you look at how they responded there from there. I believe it was Game 3, excuse me. But the response after that, it's just they're looking ahead. They're looking to the next game. They're looking for the next shift. It's one day at a time. They're saying all the right things in the media. They got great leadership, starting with the coaching staff. It trickles down to the veterans, and now the young players have picked up on it as well. So I think the focus for tonight, it's very simple, and it's very understood in that locker room. There's no looking ahead right now.
Yeah, it's going around the city, and I was at a restaurant last night, and they are moving forward. Everybody's going ahead. And I remember a good friend of mine once said to me, he says, well, everybody's planning a party inside that locker room. You've got to make sure everything's even keel. So you mentioned the hand pass in Game 3 and how the Blues responded in the next game. You were able to see, obviously, in Game 5 in San Jose, Joe, and Evander Kane hits the post right away, and still there was an even keelness about that game. What impressed you most about Game 5 and how the Blues played?
I think that just the depth. I love the depth of the St. Louis Blues hockey team right now. The way Craig Berube's running lines. Sammy Blais had the least amount of ice time in that game, just over 11 minutes. The forward with the most ice time, Ryan O'Reilly, at 18. So that's not a far spread. 11 minutes to 18 minutes is not a lot of time. He's moving all the fourth line around the ice. First line's getting a lot of ice time. You're not only getting depth ice time, but you're getting depth scoring. And to me, Darren, I don't know about you, but this time of the year, they've played over 100 hockey games this year. That's a lot of hockey. You're going to need depth. You're going to need bodies. You're going to need legs to get out there and take on good ice time. I think the San Jose Sharks is a team that has been victimized to playing top guys a little too much, and we're starting to see how that's been wearing them down a little bit.
I remember late in the season, Craig Berube said to me, if a guy like Vladdy Tarasenko and Ryan O'Reilly or your top players are playing 22 or 23 minutes as forwards, we're likely not in a winning environment.
Right.
And he doesn't just say that, but he used that, and it's been well tested. Game 4 and Game 5, Alexander Steen is just upped his game. The bet is on for tonight's game that the Barbashev line starts.
I would think so.
Okay.
I think they've done pretty well the last couple games.
Their start is impressive.
Yeah.
In this building, as excited as it's going to be, there's probably still going to be some anxiety as well. I guess we look at that first shift once again to set the tone.
I think it's going to be, and I would expect to see that fourth line. You know, I remember here at Enterprise Center, the last game here, it was Alexander Steen who comes in hard on the forecheck. He separates Burns from the puck. He's down on his face, looking from behind the net, and he sees a puck go in his own net. That's got to be a tough shift for Brent Burns, and it was all Alexander Steen on the forecheck. This fourth line, to me, Darren, they stand out because they do something so well. They just skate. They play with a relentless amount of speed. Barbashev, Sundqvist, they're head first. They're dive bombing every battle. They're hard on the forecheck. And the San Jose Sharks, you see them at the end of the game. I saw it on Game 5. The Blues were crossing the red line. They're dumping the puck in. And the San Jose defensemen are just like, oh, my God, just go. Just go get it. Like, I'm tired of turning around and getting smacked every time I go back to get a puck.
Started in Game 1, didn't it?
Started in Game 1. It was the physicality. I believe we're closing in on about 200 hits for the Blues on the Sharks here in this series. That physicality is starting to pay off.
Somewhere John Hamm's smiling every time Barbashev makes a play.
Yes, man.
Did that start the magic, that game in L.A.?
I want to say it did.
It might have. Huh? I don't think there's any doubt about that. Let's look towards, you mentioned Brent Burns. There's obviously some injuries that are in play here. We still don't know where it's at, but obviously Erik Karlsson only playing 10 minutes in the last game. Joe Pavelski, Thomas Hertl. It's been a tough grind for the San Jose Sharks. So let's go to Brent Burns for a second. I thought late in Game 4 here, when Erik Karlsson only played a minute and 55 of the last 12 minutes of the game, I thought Burns was excellent. They're going to really have to count on him, and it's probably imperative for the Blues to really go at him hard as well.
Absolutely. No, I think that you're going to look at him tonight as being a player for the Blues to focus in on, and every one of the players that's in the lineup tonight, I expect to see a good handful of the players that possibly are injured. Again, it's a game-deciding game. The San Jose Sharks mindset, Darren, as we all know, it's you force a Game 7. They've done well in their home ice this playoff season in Game 7s. They've won the Vegas series, and they also won the other series against against the Colorado Avalanche in Game 7 in their own building. So their mindset tonight is just to come in here. You just got to steal a game, find some way to do it. But for the St. Louis Blues, as you mentioned, you got to be hard on those players. I thought they've been really good on Timo Meier, Couture. You look at Brent Burns, you're smacking him every time he has the puck. Those are the kind of investments, I think, in the physicality aspect of the game. The Blues have done a great job in his first 5 games, and see if they can do it here again tonight.
Well, Jordan Binnington coming off his first playoff shutout as well. Rock solid in that game. Got a break. There was a post right off the hop. Those are the kind of breaks that, game of inches. There's no question. The Schwartz line starting to find their mojo a little bit here.
Oh, my God. Are they ever?
Boy, were they ever good in Game 5.
Well, you've been Jaden Schwartz's biggest fan from day one. All season long, you've talked about his relentlessness, his speed, his tenacity. You called him the engine that runs this team. And I completely agree with you. And unfortunately for Jaden, this season it was just something that it did not come out for him. It just didn't pan out the way point-wise he wanted to. I think he's starting to get some puck luck. He's starting to get confident. And Darren, you know it. When you're confident in this league, the game just kind of starts to slow down. And you see Jaden with the puck. He's not rushing any passes. He's not rushing any shots. He's taking his time. He's making the right play. And it's so good to see. And as important as depth is for the Blues, you need your top guys. And right now the top guys are going. No
question about that. We're looking forward to this game. It's an 8 o'clock. It's a 7 o'clock local start, and it is on Y98. Chris Kerber and Joe Vitale have that call. They'll have the pregame a half hour before that as well. And obviously nationally, it's on NBC Sports Network. Following the game, join us on Fox Sports Midwest, and the great John Kelly will be hosting that, and a plethora of others as well. We're looking forward to Game 6, an elimination game for the San Jose Sharks. It's an opportunity for the St. Louis Blues to advance to the Stanley Cup Final for the first time since the great Dan Kelly called it, and Bobby Orr scoring a goal 1970.
Oh, God.
Wow.
What were you doing in 1970?
I was 64, 6 years old.
Wow. Okay, so you remember.
I was a huge Bobby Orr fan, but that particular goal was just, come on, the picture was unbelievable.
Right.
And, but
I remember that.
We want to go back to the Boston Bruins and the St. Louis Blues if possible. We'll see what happens.
1970, my dad graduated high school, the year the Beatles broke up. Okay, we're getting a little crazy here. Let's get back. Let's get focused.
Love me do. Okay. So we'll see you tonight. Enjoy the day, everybody. And hopefully we're talking about the next step the next time we're on the show. Thanks.